Finally, all of the bits and bobs have arrived for our battery system. Today, we are going to install the rest of our batteries.
Alrighty, so first course of action is we are going to mount the battery bank rack that we made so that it doesn't move around, and then also so that it's nice and secure for when we're traveling down the road. We're gonna screw it to the floor.
Right now.
Right now.
Now we're just lining up our battery seat belts in the middle of each battery so that when they come up, they're pretty close to center. Sound good? These are all about the same length.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool, you wanna do the same on this side?
Yeah. Getting real comfortable under this underbody.
So we got this neoprene weather stripping here. It's like it's actually more of like a rubberized sort of deal. We're gonna put it down on the frame here so that the batteries have a little bit of cushion.
For the pushing, because we're a pusher engine.
Yeah, we got a pusher engine. These batteries aren't actually gonna slide around because of the battery holder that we've created, the battery rack.
Yeah. They shouldn't bounce either because they're wearing seatbelts.
Yeah.
All right, these batteries are gonna be safe.
Damn.
You never have to worry about those batteries bouncing again.
Nice, that actually fits really good. All right, next one. These seatbelt straps came out really nice.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Basically what we did was we took ratcheting straps that the ratchets broke. They were like lightweight ratcheting straps, and then bought these buckles. And these buckles were great. Then we used the Speedy All to stitch them together. And so I think that they're gonna work just fine for holding the batteries. All right, I got it.
Yeah, that looks really cute. Cute.
That's a nylock nut there. That's watermelon sugar right there.
All seat belted in, bolted. Yeah.
Damn, that looks good.
That was just the warm up. Now it's time to get real.
Really?
Lucky Brian knows what he's doing.
Hopefully. These are massive wires, and they're very thick, and they're very heavy. Look at that.
Holy.
This is stranded heavy-duty welding cable. It's 4/0, 4/0, whatever that means. I guess it's the size. Well, we got a black one and we got a red one, because some of these things use black. Like this one here looks black and this one here looks red. So we're gonna connect it like that.
What he means to say is negatives and positives. So by the sounds of it, we're gonna start by connecting this switch to the Link's distributor. Now, it's very important that this is in the off position. And I know our lighting sucks, but can you give me some more light on that, Garcia? That's off. Yeah, we're cool.
So we've got this going to there, and then this is gonna come to here. So we got a knockout here at the bottom that we gotta pull off. There are all these little breakout pieces, the tabs. It comes with one off already. And so just pop this guy off the front of it. And then there's your two posts. And we want one of them to come in through the bottom and then one to come out through the side. So we're gonna take this one off. That was easy. All right, so these nuts are 9/16 I'm using the 9/16 wrench. But I wanted to put these on here at first because these say that they're 9/16 stud size. So what's crazy is it doesn't fit on the stud.
No.
So now we've got to drill them out. But while we're here, we need to figure out how much goes in there. And it looks like about 3/4 of an inch.
That's what I guessed.
Yeah. So 3/4 to 7/8. It depends on where you're looking at. But I think because it kind of dips down there, I think I'd be closer to say 3/4 will definitely fit. 7/8 might be like really jamming it in there. So we'll say 3/4 for our measurements for this entire, for this 4/0 one right here. So let's loosen these, and then we need to grab a bit that's just a hair bigger than this, because the post itself probably is 9/16, but with posts you've got threads also that might not be accounted for, so in this case it's not. So this needs to be just a hair bigger than 9/16. So let's go find a drill bit.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So let's try this on the stud before we go drilling that one out. Almost. Let me use the one that's one step bigger. Perfect. So it looks like the 3/8 drill bit worked perfect for the studs on this to include the threads. So happy about that. They drilled out really, really easily because copper is pretty freaking soft. So then I took the burrs off, and now time to prep it for install.
This is not their final resting place. We'll have to take them off once we measure, but
yeah, that way we can crimp it.
yeah, this is just so we know how long it is.
Yeah, that fits really good like that.
Yeah.
So let's put this back on and see if it likes that orientation. It might have to go out kind of at like a diagonal. That's fine. Right. There's the positive. There's the negative.
5 5/8.
5 3/4.
5 5/8.
5 3/4.
Figure out how to use that new toy.
Here's some lethal cutters for you. So this end is kind of mucked up, so we're gonna practice on this one. So this is called a ratcheting, what is this one called? A ratcheting cutter? Ratcheting cable cutter for cutting Cup-ep-endal.
Cup-ep-endal.
Copper. It's for cutting copper.
Maybe that's French or something.
Maybe. Alright, so you just kind of stick it in there, and supposedly I want to see if I could just slice the tippy end of this off. It seems to be advancing. Alright, that looks like it's getting close.
Make sure it's straight.
It feels like it's straight. Alright, let's go for it now. It's just kind of going now. Oh shit. Alright. Let's see how this goes now.
Is it hard?
Yeah. Actually, it's not that bad. It doesn't seem to cut very clean.
Probably because we got the cheap ones.
Probably.
Maybe you have to give it like a good crunch versus like a slow thing.
Like I was cutting it as fast as I could squeeze it.
Oh.
There we go. Now let's measure it, make sure we didn't mess it up already. 5 3/4 a nut!
Woo!
Okay, so then we have, what was it, 3/4 of an inch we determined?
Yeah, 3/4 on each end of the rubber shielding has to come off.
So we don't have a cable shield cutter. We're going to be using just the razor blade.
Ulfa's got this cut in the bag.
Oh yeah, it's a brand new blade. On purpose, with purpose.
Don't cut the little strands, people.
There it goes.
Use your power. Ooh, nice work.
Nice, that fits perfectly in there.
Nice.
There we go. Perfect.
Just like we saw in the YouTube videos.
Yep.
Heat shrink.
Theoretically, this should be enough for our entire project.
Okay.
It doesn't look like much, huh?
Almost a Garcia wingspan.
I read that we need 2 1/4 inches. That seems like a lot. But maybe, here, let's just see what that looks like. If I just put a dot on 2 1/4.
That's a lot of overlap on both of those.
Because it goes to about here. And then if this guy is, so let's see what that overlap would look like. Let's do 2 inches. Yeah, let's do 2 inches. Well, while this is here, what if we move this one down and then get this measurement also?
Good idea.
On the lid for this, it shows you the order of all of these washeroonies. So it looks like nickel spacer. This comes out here, and then that one stays there, and then this goes here. And then we'll get our measurement for this one, cut this wire. This one might be a little tricky. So I'm gonna measure it to here and just say add 3/4 of an inch. So that's 3 1/2 inches, so 4 1/4 would be dead nut, but then it's gotta make this little S. So what if we did like 5 inches?
Yeah.
That'd probably, that'd give an extra 3/4. Is that enough? Or like do,
If you go too long, it's going to be a pain too, probably.
Yeah.
A little testaroonie. I guess that copper one could bend over a little bit. The one at the bottom.
Oh yeah, like come that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think about cutting it right here?
Yep. Dry fit.
Cool.
See, the eyeball technique is key sometimes.
All right, so now to crimp these on, we got the little lugs or the little connectors on, and I labeled which one goes to which because I needed to. So this one goes to the master disconnect. And I also noted that this one's gonna have a bend in the wire going this way and then this way. And I've got them on opposite directions because this one goes this way in the master disconnect and this one goes this way into the fuse block. We're gonna use this guy right here to do the crimping, and this is the hammer type. But I saw online that someone was actually putting it into a vise and then just closing it on it, and he said that it works so much better and it's so much cleaner than hammering it. So I'm gonna try that first, just because I like clean and I like easy. All right, so I've got these in the correct orientation. how we want to install them. And I also verified that our heat shrink actually will go over the connectors. Okay. So I'm not going to put it on first here. Like it pushes over just fine. I pushed one over just a second ago, but I got the correct orientation there. So now we're going to set the crimp in here. And I know that we'll probably get butchered in the comments because there's probably a million different tools that you can use to make this work. And this just so happens to be the one that we're using. And I'm not sure if, let's see, that already moved on me. So let me see, this goes into the top like that. And then this one goes down like that. Because that one's going to the fuse. Yep. So let's see if there's a trick to getting this inserted into here. There it goes. I just had to open it more. So now we'll put it right there and get this open just a little bit more. All right, that's in the middle. And now let's see if this is a viable option.
See, this old ass clamp can handle this.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Get some added leverage there.
It's working! Look at this.
It is working.
Cool.
And I use this as a breaker bar. So I'm guessing, I'm not sure how far it actually needs to go, but I can't move it anymore. So I'm gonna call that good. So I don't break the clamp, or not the clamp, I'm not worried about the vise, but I'm worried about this. Whoa.
Oh, look at that.
That is tight.
Oh.
Nice. I think that's how we're gonna do it.
Cool.
Cool.
Hopefully that's where you wanted it.
Yeah. So that went really nice. So that goes in there like that. So make sure that they're in the right plane. That looks good. So I'm making sure that these are both kind of vertical to each other. And then we'll put this guy back through. Right like this. And just make sure it's still looking good, and it is.
Back in the vise.
Back in the vise. All right, I'm just making sure that those are still in line before I really get it. So now we're gonna test it and make sure they don't come out.
It's called the Hercules test.
Not budging, guys. It's not budging. And the crimp looks so nice on those. I'm not even gonna try to hit it with a hammer.
No way.
Not at all. This works so well. So well.
Cute.
Nice. All right.
Shrink.
Heat shrink time. So this goes over this end here. Right about like that. Nice.
Sweet.
Do you want to heat shrink it?
I sure do.
Alright, she's got her hair dryer from stylist school, folks.
Yeah, right.
Alright, so this lady's got over a decade of experience with a hair dryer. Now let's see what she could do with heat shrink.
I think it might take a while for this thing to heat up. Let's go.
This particular one is straight.
Yep.
So before crimping, make sure it's straight, because whenever you bow it, the ones down here, if we bowed it like a U, these ones here would end up getting shorter, while these would grow on you, and because just how the U shape works. So
your lugs wouldn't sit on there.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, and it wouldn't crimp as cleanly. So this particular one is a straight piece, so we're gonna just make sure it's straight like that. We've got our heat shrink cut at 2 inches each.
Yay!
And I think that was a good size.
Hercules.
Next step is we're going to use some emery cloth, and we're going to clean the terminals where they're going to connect against their spots. So like for instance, this one's going to connect right here. So I'm going to clean the side of the terminal that goes on this side. And what this is doing is it's just basically taking off any like schmutz or dirt or anything that would
Finger
prevent.
grease?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do the alcohol on it.
All right.
Here in a second. That'll do like grease and impurities. And then this kind of scuffs the surface, makes it shiny, so it's got good adhesion.
Conduction.
Good conduction.
Look how cute they are.
So now we've got a battery or a equipment ground. This grounds the entire system to the chassis. And we've got a place right on the other side here that we're gonna do it. And we need to figure out the measurement.
Now you ran out of... Oh, I did it! 2 hands.
Oh yeah, that's gonna fit perfectly. That one did really good. Nice.
This one, 2. That one. And that.
Nice. That'll be good. That's kind of what it looks like for these guys. And then I'm gonna pre-bend these a little bit whenever I go to crimp them. As long as they're bent a little bit, that should be good enough. And then crimperoonie, and then Erin will do her magic.
I'm going to put this on first by hand.
Yeah.
And then... let me grab that. Okie dokie.
Alright, and then I'll tighten this guy here.
We're putting wires on, guys.
Can you believe it? Okay, so this goes here, that goes...
Oh, you already have a nut. I got one too for this guy.
Oh, I got it from right here.
Okay, so I got a front washer. Oh, here, I'll do a nut. You got that?
You got a washer? Okay. That's good for right now, because we need to be able to maneuver.
This guy over here. Oh, there's washer on the back. Okay.
Hold this up in the air.
Okay.
And then and then maneuver it with me.
Okay. Probably has to be up so it doesn't get caught in the door.
Yeah, we'll tighten it up here in a moment.
Okay. Here, I'll hold them in place if you want to slide the bolt through. Oop. There's one. Boom! Awkward moments. Awkward moments with Brian and Aaron.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
There you go. Now this one.
That's snugging up.
There we go. Now this one
Going that way.
comes to this side. All right, let's leave that one like that.
Yep. That black goes to the shunt, and then this red goes to the red there.
Yep. So now we need to make 2 more cables.
Next up, we're connecting the last battery, positive, to the fuse, what's it called?
Holder.
Fuse holder.
Yeah. We have 400 amp A&L fuse that's going to go there. We might need to rotate the whole setup so that this is vertical and then this can come up. But I don't know if that's putting too much stress on that wire now.
Just make a few handy dandy modifications. The problem we're running into is that the fuse holder has this plastic thing that goes over it to protect you from getting electrocuted. Yep. And the wires are supposed to come in to the top and bottom, but we already cut the wire to do that jig because we forgot about this plastic thing.
Yep.
Which is fine because we're humans and, you know.
We do human things.
But we don't want to run out of wire, so.
And we only have enough of these ring terminals here for exactly the amount of wires that we need.
Right. So once you crimp, you're done. So those terminals they're on there forever. So yeah, and we might not have enough wire if we recut a wire. So we're just gonna make the best with what we got. And I think we got a pretty good idea here. Good job, Brian.
Thank you. Yeah, because the idea of this cover is just to cover these terminals and to protect that fuse. So if the terminals are still covered, then why do we have to come out of the bottom here when we could come out the side? So.
Solid MacGyver. Beauty.
That'll work. And there's no, it's still protecting, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just gotta DIY your DIY. So now that we have the charge controller mounted, we've got the inverter front face off, we've got the Lynx distributor front cover off also. All the batteries are done being wired together. Master disconnect is in the off position. That's very important. Do not do anything like this with power to this unit or shocking experiences can be had, which probably won't be fun. So next we're gonna connect the Lynx distributor, which basically has a bunch of different lug ports that we're gonna put fuses and stuff to go to the various components. So one of them will go to the charge controller, one of them will go to the fuse block for the 12 volt right here. Another will go to the inverter here, and we'll also wire the inverter up to the panel, and then also we've got to get shore power wired up to the inverter also. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. Making some 6-gauge cables. The inverter gets a 300 amp mega fuse. The next thing we're going to install on this is the Bluetooth smart dongle. It's the VE Bus smart dongle. So what this thing does is it transmits via Bluetooth information about the system, as well as helps to monitor the temperature of the system. So we're going to install it. And so we need the RJ45 cable, which plugs in over here and right there. And then it has this little cable here, cable set. One has an inline fuse, and these will get screwed on into the inverter. And then the ferrule sides get plugged into the B plus and B minus over here. And then we'll stick it here on the side, probably like right there or so. This guy gets plugged in around there. So there are the spots on the bottom. So we'll plug in the ferrule side to the B plus and B minus, and then on the other side is the RJ45 jack. And then on the back, it's got like a adhesive sort of covering. So we'll peel that off and then stick it to the side over here. Let's see, plugged in. I think it might fit better over here. All right, the next part is to run a AC line out to the 120 volt panel up top. So we're gonna drop a line down so that we can wire it into AC out. Give me a little bit more. All right, that's good. So this is going right here, AC out, to these three in the middle, AC out 1. And then this AC in is for the shore power.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, shore power, and then this is to the panel. right, so our friendly local electrician scored us a piece of wire to finish our setup. So this was our temporary setup that we were testing out our lights and plugs and stuff like that. Definitely not permanent.
We do not recommend it at all, but it did work and we were perfectly safe and fine.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our master breaker disconnect, which is a 100 amp breaker. And we're going to jump these sides because it's not one of the masters that go in between. It's actually gonna fit right here in the breaker panel. Right here. There we go.
Just like that.
So that's installed. Wow, that was easy. Next step, we're gonna use this massive wire here to jump these two terminals because we're going to have the AC out from the inverter go into this breaker. This breaker jumps between the two sides, so we're gonna jump it here on the top, and then we'll have the white one here and then the black one coming through here on the side, and then the jumper here at the top. So first we've got to prepare this wire for that. Riveting video of stripping more wire. I know that's a lot of fun for you guys to watch.
We actually don't know what that wire is. We kind of think it's 3/0, but we're not totally sure. Our electrician gave it to us and he said, here's what you do. This is the wire. So this is by no means our recommendation to you. None of this system that we're putting together is our recommendation to you. None of it, okay? You need to do your own research and connect with an electrician locally to come check out your stuff if you don't feel confident in it. And also, we highly recommend contacting Battleborn because they were amazing. They have been and still currently are amazing to work with. So if you have questions about a system like ours for you, definitely contact them.
Oh, that's thick.
Those are Mondos.
Those are Mondos. So this guy's gonna go down through there. That looks like I stripped off enough. And then he's gonna take a right turn. So let's take a right turn. Right. All right, and then there's his right turn. I wonder if that's tight enough. I don't know how to make them tighter. That was pretty tight. And then we need to do another turn. Probably right about there. And then, so let's make that turn and then decide where to cut it.
Yeah, that turn's gonna take up some space.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if that looks like it'll make it.
Cute.
Pretty excited about that. This is so great. So now, theoretically, we can turn on the system and power all of this, but first we want to hook up the shore power so that we can test that part of the system out at the same time, and so that we don't have to power down all the system again. We want to test everything that we can all at once.
Let's go! Manly pom-pom.
Boy. 3/4. Here I go.
Okay.
Give me the glue.
Did we do it?
Yeah. I think we did it. Shut. Ground. Go.
Stuff's blinking.
I think we're good. Boom, there it is. Smart BMV is connected, device listless, all your Victron components. So we've got the VE Bus Smart, the Smart BMV 712, and the Smart Controller. So right now, the VE Bus Blue Smart Dongle, VE Smart Dongle is updating the firmware in the app. So we're getting an update on that. We just finished updating the BMV. And you may have noticed we haven't connected solar panels to the solar charge controller yet. And the reason being is because they're not on the roof of the bus yet. We have them. We just haven't mounted them up there yet because it's been snowing like freaking crazy lately and we're finally getting a break. So hopefully in this next week we can install solar panels and then make that last connection there. But in the meantime, oh, this one finished updating. Now let's connect the smart controller. So I'm just here in the Victron Connect app and I'm pairing the devices to the app because we're gonna be able to view the solar coming in, how the inverter's doing, how much charge we have on the battery bank once all of the devices are connected via Bluetooth in the app. And I think that's pretty cool that it's a Bluetooth system because that means that you don't necessarily have to have internet connection for them to be able to stream through the app so that you can see the health and well-being of the system and see how it's doing. So even if you're in an off-grid situation or if you're boondocking in the middle of nowhere, you can still see how your system's doing, either on your iPhone, Android, or a tablet, even on a laptop. And there's so many different peripherals that you can hook up to these systems. Like if we got a generator that had an electric start, you can actually hook that up to automatically start the generator if it sensed a low battery situation. So this system is so expansive and I'm so freaking tickled at how it all went together. It was a little nerve-wracking because we're very new at electricity stuff and electricity is a crazy thing. It can start fires and it can shock you, but you can't really see it. You can only see what it does. Like you can see that it turns on lights and stuff like that. So it made me so happy to have Battleborn on our side with their tech support and being able to just jump on a phone call and say, hey, we're doing this. This is how I understand it should work. Is this correct? And to have an affirmative, yes, do it this way, or yes, kind of, but do this instead because of XYZ. So they were super informative. So super happy about that. Now let's head upstairs and see if we've got lights. First things first, master battery or master breaker on. And then let's see, let's do the bedroom lights. Bedroom lights is 11, so that's down here. That one's on. Now let's see if we've got power. Oh, shit.
Yeah! We have power!
We got lights, we got lights.
So exciting!
Let's see, driver and living room lights, kitchen lights, number 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just below the 100 amp, so that one. So let's go to the living room and see if that turns on.
Bam!
Dimming works, perfect.
Sweet!
Kitchen turns on great.
Yes!
Whoa! We are on 100% battery power right now. This is our lithium-ion Battleborn battery system that is running this. We're not hooked up to shore power or anything like that. Although we have shore power, we haven't connected it yet.
Oh my gosh, Battleborn, we're so grateful for you. This is really spectacular. I
Yeah.
can't even believe it. We made it this far.
I know. This is getting so much closer to being off-grid and going boondocking and having a great time.
Yeah.
And we just want to thank you for sponsoring this project. It really means a lot. And we know that other people who are looking for an awesome system with great support that they could turn to Battleborn to get their system installed.
Yes. So if you're looking for an awesome electrical setup, contact Battleborn. Thanks, guys.